Well, for us.
Oh, fuck.
That's me. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I haven't posted in a while and there are reasons for that, and this van has a lot to do with that. So let me take you back to literally New Year's, the 1st of January 2025. I took this van away, it went great, I had fun with it, and then the exhaust flexi did kind of tear, but other than that, no problems whatsoever. And then the first weekend of January, it snapped the cam belt, which is obviously a pretty big problem, but I didn't think it was the cam belt at the start because I looked underneath at the same time, the coil pack sort of come unscrewed and fell off and disconnected, and I was like, oh sweet, I'll just put that back on, we're good to go, because it was literally coming out of my gate, unlocked the gate, opened the gate, just let the clutch out, just to go forward, and then boom, it just stilled, and I was like, what the hell? And yeah, it turned out to be the cam belt. So I did fix the cam belt, I got the cam belt done, and this video was going to be just fixing the cam belt, and that was going to be my video, but yeah, it was about 2 days later, and then it overheated. Although when I did the cam belt, I was going to replace the water pump at the same time, but they sent me the wrong water pump. It was for a front wheel drive, 4G66 or 3, I don't know, it was wrong anyway. I bolted on, but it was wrong. And it couldn't work because they have different inlets and outlets. So then I was just going to do the cam belt swap or cam belt replacement and water pump replacement, and that was going to be my video. But literally the day after that, I went out to Expo, which is kind of far from where I am, and the alternator crapped out, and then it literally wouldn't run because the coil pack wasn't getting enough power, and it was backfiring like crazy, and I was pretty much stranded. And silly me, I took all the beading out of the back of it because I used it as like a van the day before. So I had no bedding in it at all. I was broken down on the side of the road. I had two options, was either to get picked up or towed. I didn't really want to tow it because it was a fair way. And it was late and I had no lights. So I could either get picked up and sleep in a normal bed for the night or just sleep in the van. So I slept in the driver's seat of the van on the side of the motorway because I thought someone could probably steal the van as well, parked on the side of the motorway, and the tyres are worth more than what it's insured for. So I didn't do that, and I stayed in the van until the morning, and then at 5 in the morning, a mate on his way to work dropped off 2 batteries for me, and then, so basically, once the sun come up, I didn't need my lights, I didn't need anything that drained the batteries. I hooked the batteries up to I put one of the batteries in, and then I put jumper lead from one of the batteries to the other battery, and I managed to get back to my workshop, no problem. So then, as you can imagine, I was very, very over this van, and I was kind of sick of it. And I've always been wanting to do this pretty much since I brought it, and the reason I brought the petrol version over the diesel engine, because the diesel engine from factory is probably better than what the petrol engine is from factory, but I always had a plan to turbo this van and put a 4G63 engine or head on this van and get some decent power out of it, because I just love those engines. I had an Evo 7 with one of those engines, although it was a newer generation. They're an awesome engine, and that's exactly what I did.
Then I found a wreckers with the engine that I wanted. I disconnected everything, including the wiring loom, lifted it out, and took it home.
Okay, so what have I done? So I've taken the head off. I've lined this crank to the top, and if you can see down there, that is lined up, and that one down there is lined up. So I'm going to loosen this off and take off this brand new belt I literally just replaced, and then undo the head studs and take this whole thing off. I have removed the exhaust, it's down there. I will completely remove it, but it's just still attached to the exhaust, so I just leant it back. The intake manifold is going to stay because that's part of the head, and I'll just take that all off in one go. And then I'll inspect the head because I think it's fine. It should be fine, and if it is, I'll probably just sell it. So I'll loosen off this tensioner, and then this little 14 here. As you can see, that belt is instantly gone loose. So I didn't realise that my head studs would be Allen keys. I don't know, I just didn't really think about it. Although I have Allen keys that fit, I can't get the right leverage and undo them with an Allen key. So you tell me, is this genius or stupid? I cut the end off my Allen key. So I cut the end off my Allen key like that, and then I can put it into my 10mm socket, and I've got much more leverage. And now, so this is the head here, and this is the intake manifold, and it's still bolted to it. And I set it on cardboard so I don't scratch it up or anything like that, even though I'm not going to use it. Someone else might. And then we've got this engine. So basically, I'm going to do exactly the same thing to this engine, and then compare both this block, once I've got all the head off, with this block here, and see if this is going to be possible. So this engine was pulled from a front wheel drive / all wheel drive car. They always have sort of this part on the front of them, and they mount like the firewall is here. All this stuff here has got to go because it's not needed. Plus it's in the way to take these covers off so I can line up all the cams and everything like that, like I did on this before I pull the head off. Okay, so I've pulled the front cover off, and as you can see, this is a lot different to the single cam, the way that the bottom all goes, this goes. So I'm hoping all this stuff bolts to the single cam. Okay, so this goes in there, and then I turned this until there's a little arrow on there, but there's also a wee white mark. Lines up to this. These two here line up together, and all the keyways should be at the top, which I learnt from doing the last one because I can never trust white markings. And then down here, someone's put a white marking from there to line it up, but the correct marking is this little cutout here. Needs to line up with this tiny little sort of thing on the block here. And then down here, this little hacksaw looking cut needs to line up with this arrow that's here. Okay, so the belt is off. I'm going to keep this belt because this is going to be my like trial sort of belt to make sure everything fits and everything like that until I'm ready to sort of start it. And then obviously when I'm ready to start it, I'll get a brand new belt for it. But one thing I noticed is this is the twin cam belt, this is the single cam belt, so it's almost twice as thick. Alright, so I've got the head off, and then I grabbed the gasket, and then I set the gasket directly on top of this gasket, and checked the differences, and to my surprise, there is zero differences whatsoever. I read lots of forums online stuff before sort of buying the engine and starting this, and lots of people were saying about welding up drain plugs and re-drilling other ones, and lots of people were saying that the studs were different and things like that, but everything is the same. Absolutely everything is the same. So that's good. And I also stood both of the heads up side by side, basically sitting on the cams, so then they stand up nicely, and looking at the bottom of them, and everything is identical, apart from, of course, these have 4 per cylinder, these only have 2. But everything is identical. I can't find any differences. The only differences I can find are these like little slots here, but they're covered up when the gasket's on anyway, so I'm guessing they don't really need to be there. So I'm just going to put it on, sort of test fit things. Obviously, I will clean up all these valves, like the carbon build-up and exhaust sort of build-up on them, and get new gaskets and everything like that. Fit this properly, but for now, I basically just want to see that everything's going to work and fit everything up and sort of build the manifolds and things like that, because I'm not too sure how much I'm going to build this engine yet. I think I'm definitely going to get cams for it. So the head is on and a lot of other stuff is on. It still needs some extra pulleys and cogs and things changed on the bottom half of the engine, which I'm just going to pull off this engine. And then everything from the twin cam will be on this engine. I'm going to try and keep this water pump if possible, because this is for a rear-wheel drive setup. And I might try and keep the alternator. We will see. So the only thing sort of left on this engine will be the block itself and some other things that just convert it to rear-wheel drive. I got my turbo, it's just sort of hanging there. I have ordered a flange, and I've got some bends and straights. So the next video I'll probably make the turbo manifold, unless the Land Cruiser gearbox turns up first, but we will see. I did also clean the engine up quite a bit. So yeah, but that was more just to take the photo for a thumbnail and just so it looks nicer on TikToks and stuff. Of course, this is going to be fully resprayed. I don't know if I want to paint this red or paint this the tan, because I think the body color, I'm going to paint the whole body tan, and then this will be tan, this will be black, and then I'll keep the red stripe and do this red again and have the red like adjustable cams and things. So I think this is where I'm going to leave it. I've changed up a little bit. I think I'm just going to go with an air filter underneath the like bonnet seat kind of thing, whatever you want to call it, rather than doing sort of something in here and like some sort of snorkel, because I really don't like the look of snorkels on the outside of vans. I think they look horrible, and I need to do 4-inch snorkel, otherwise I'm restricting this turbo big time. I did think about putting something sort of inside here, but there's just not enough room for it. And then I think I'm going to run a blow-off valve as well there. Not this particular blow-off valve, but a blow-off valve, and then twin and wastegate. So in the next video, I'll have the flanges, both engine side and turbo side, and then a couple more of these, and we'll build a manifold so that the turbo will sit there properly, because at the moment it's just round like tie down and tied to it, just to sort of mock up where I might be able to fit it. And I think there is going to be perfect. And I'll also get flanges for the intake manifold and have a go at that, because I'll do something that goes like in there, and then pretty much like where this is, and then down sort of around and in front of the radiator to the intercooler. And the intercooler, I'll probably go like 400 by 400 or like 450 by 400. We'll see, I haven't brought that yet. The thing that fell is just this blow-off valve. I just literally had it sitting there, because I think that's where I'm going to put it, because it's on the cold side as well. I've also got a few more things to do, like down in there. I've got some things to change over, like some cogs change over. I've got these wheels to change over just to fully strip this engine, because these cogs here are actually a lot wider, because the belt is also a lot wider than what a single cam was. It's got a few extra bearings and things like that, and like pulleys and everything. I think I'm going to go with this one. This is a lot shorter, and then just like modify the end here so that it screws in sort of. We'll get to that. And then I'll probably have to use this power steering mount as well, if it's going to fit under the seat. Alright, let's make a custom one. That'll be next video anyway. But anyway guys, that'll be it for today's video. If you liked it, subscribe, comment, tell me what you prefer, the van or the Land Cruiser, because I'm getting mixed comments lately and I don't actually know. I think at the moment I'm more excited to get the van done, only because this is like couple of months away to be actually like running and driving. The Land Cruiser's still got a lot of money and a lot of work to go into it, so that will unfortunately take a little bit longer. But stick around because both of them are going to be very, very cool.
Can I break this hold from you? It would mean everything to me if I do.